Let's talk about credit scores. Most people are told the same story. If you have a good credit score, you're financially responsible. If you don't, you're doing something wrong. But here's what confuses a lot of people. Why does borrowing money often improve your credit score? That feels backwards. And once you understand why that happens, you'll start seeing credit very differently. Most people believe credit scores measure how good you are with money, how disciplined you are, how financially stable you are. But credit scores don't measure any of that. They don't look at your savings, investments, income, or net worth. They only look at one thing: how you use credit. Credit scores are designed for lenders. They answer one simple question: if we lend this person money, how likely are we to get paid back on time? So scores track whether you borrow, whether you pay consistently, how long you've used credit, and how much of it you use. They don't reward having cash, avoiding debt, or paying upfront. They reward predictable borrowing behavior. When you borrow and repay over time, you give lenders data. You prove you follow the rules and behave predictably. From a lender's perspective, that's valuable. So your score goes up. If you don't borrow, there's less data. And less data means more uncertainty. That's why someone with no debt can have a lower score than someone carrying small balances. People start optimizing for the score. They keep old cards open, carry balances just to stay active. They finance things they could buy outright. Not because it improves their life, but because it improves the number. Chasing a credit score has real consequences. People pay interest they don't need to pay. They delay paying off debt. They feel anxious about closing accounts. They avoid big financial decisions, all to protect a number. And that number doesn't represent freedom. It represents how well you fit into the lending system. This isn't about good or bad intentions. Credit scores exist because lenders need a system to manage risk at scale. They are designed to encourage borrowing, encourage consistency, and discourage sudden changes. That's good for lenders. But it can be confusing for consumers who think the score is a measure of success. A credit score is not a report card. It's a risk profile. It tells lenders, this person borrows and repays in a predictable way. That's all. It doesn't tell you whether debt is helping your life, whether interest is worth it, or whether borrowing is necessary. Those decisions still matter. Here are some clear principles. Stop treating the score as the goal. Your life is the goal. The score is just a tool to reduce borrowing costs when borrowing makes sense. Never carry debt just to improve your score. If you can pay something off, pay it off. Interest is not a reward, it's a cost. Prioritize net worth over credit points. Net worth grows through saving, investing, and ownership. Credit scores grow through borrowing. One builds independence, the other builds access to loans. Use credit deliberately, not habitually. Credit should have a clear reason, a clear timeline, and a clear exit. If debt doesn't have an end date, it deserves scrutiny. A good credit score doesn't mean you're doing well financially, it means you've proven you can manage debt. Those are not the same thing. The healthiest relationship with credit is not obsession. It's indifference. You use it when it helps, you ignore it when it doesn't. If the system rewards borrowing and repaying, what happens when you no longer need to borrow? And who benefits when financial responsibility looks exactly like staying in debt?